All right, next up we got the identity property, and this is hands down the easiest property of the ones that we've gone over so far. And you know this without even thinking about it, but this is what this is called. So again, it applies to addition and multiplication, just like the associative and commutative properties. So for addition, we would say it like this. We would say that any number plus 0 is itself. So any number plus 0 is always going to equal a. And we can use the commutative property, pretty sure I said that right. And we can change the order, right? So we could do 0 plus a and still get a. So in other words, throw a number there if you want. 100 plus 0 is still going to be 100. Adding 0 to anything doesn't change anything. If you have 10 bucks in your wallet and then you add $0, but you still have 10 bucks. Multiplication, it's the same concept, but instead of using 0 to express that nothing has changed, we use 1. So the way we would word this is any number times 1 is itself. So a times 1 is a. We could reverse that ordering, so we could do 1 times a is still equal to a. So who cares, right? In multiplication, it's kind of helpful, and I'll give you an example. Let's say you're doing, I'm just coming up with numbers on the spot here. Let's say you're doing 1/2 plus 1/10. Now, if you know how to add fractions, and if you don't, I suggest you go back and teach yourself that, and I'll probably put out some videos in the future on how to do that. But we know that if the denominators are not the same, you cannot add the fractions. So what do? Well, what we can do is find a common denominator and change at least one, if not both of those fractions to have that common denominator, and then we can add them together. So the common denominator here is going to be 10. So this fraction here, this 1/10, that's fine. We don't need to change that. But this 1/2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 5, or I'm going to multiply that fraction by 5/5. Well, what is 5/5? Well, that's just division. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we're multiplying 1/2 times 1. So all we're doing is rewriting that fraction in a different way so that it has a denominator of 10. We're not changing the value. So what we'll get is we will get 5 out of 10, or 5/10, plus 1/10. And now we can add those fractions and get 6/10, and we can simplify if we want to. But 5/10 over here and 1/2, that's the same value. If I ate 5/10 of a pizza, or I say I ate 1/2 of a pizza, you're never going to say you ate 5/10. That's just not very common. You'd say that, but their value is the same. So this is how we can use the identity property of multiplication to make adding fractions, for example, a little bit easier.